No! The Indiana Fever actually signed somebody taller than 5'8". Let's give the Fever a round of applause. Let's give the Indiana Fever a round of applause. They actually picked up somebody after letting Shatori Walker-Kimbrough get a couple easy paychecks doing nothing.
Hold on. The Indiana Fever actually signed somebody taller than 5'8". Read that sentence again. After weeks of watching Shatori Walker-Kimbrough collect paychecks for doing absolutely nothing, the front office finally blinked. And what they brought in raises bigger questions than it answers about who's really running this team.
Grace VanSlooten. Like the video, hype the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. Grace VanSlooten, listed as 6'3", 180 pounds, according to Basketball Reference. She's not a center, but she's definitely a 4. Not a center, but definitely a 4.
Grace VanSlooten, 6'3", 180 pounds, listed as a power forward. Not a stretch 4, not a true center, but a finisher around the rim with some touch from 10 to 12 feet out. For a Fever roster that has been allergic to size all season, this is the first real acknowledgement that Misha Hines-Allen being stocky and short was never going to solve the interior problem.
Can we finally bring in Justine Passat so I can see what she's all about? Grace VanSlooten is a rookie. So just a question that I have. What makes her more ready to play than Justine Passat, other than the team that she's been with this season actually had some faith and some trust in her to give them some run, with Malanga being out, with Awa Pham not being with the Seattle Storm yet. The Seattle Storm, their hand was forced to give Grace VanSlooten some run.
But here's the contradiction nobody in the Fever front office wants to address. Justine Pegs is already on this roster. 6'4", a stretch 4, a shooter. The kind of player who fits modern WNBA spacing. And yet she has been collecting dust on the bench, while Damarissa Dantas eats minutes that should have been redistributed weeks ago. So what exactly makes VanSlooten more ready to contribute than the rookie already in the building? The answer the Fever won't give you is that Seattle's hand was forced. Malaga Schomburg is out. Awake Queer hasn't reported. They had no choice but to play VanSlooten. Indiana has had every choice, and they keep making the wrong one.
Let's get into it, shall we? Status report for tonight's game. The Indiana Fever listed Caitlin Clark as probable. The Indiana Fever got a slap on the wrist from the WNBA. The WNBA sent them a warning after walking away with fans' money, after screwing over the bettors, after screwing over the fans that drove hours to get there. The story was, well, this should have been announced a day prior at 5 o'clock when the injury report is due.
Now we get to the part that should infuriate every Fever season ticket holder. The WNBA League office issued a warning to the Indiana Fever for failing to report Caitlin Clark's injury status before Wednesday's preseason scrimmage. Bettors got burned. Fans drove hours to the arena. Ticket money was already in the bank. And then the announcement came late, well past the 5 o'clock deadline that every team in the league knows about. The league's response, a strongly worded letter. That's it. No fine, no suspension of credentials, nothing with teeth.
Yeah, if this isn't an admission of guilt, I don't know what is. If this isn't an admission of guilt from the Indiana Fever, I don't know what is. She's probable for tonight's game. We still have 4 hours and 45 minutes. We still have 6.5 hours for them to pull her last minute.
And then look what happened the very next day. 5 o'clock on the dot. The Fever released their injury report listing Clark as probable. If that's not an admission of guilt, what is? They knew the rule existed. They just didn't follow it the first time because there were no consequences they actually feared. The warning from Kelly Krauskopf and Kathy Engelbert's office isn't accountability. It's permission to keep doing the same thing with slightly better timing.
I fear that Caitlin is hurting. However, this is the result of Stephanie changing her body mechanics, making her do things her body isn't used to. Yeah, wonder she's sore. You're over there destroying her body. 0 injuries before Steph got her hands involved, by the way. But now, a 24-year-old is having back issues. You guys have a generational star. I said star, not player. And you find ways to continuously botch it because she doesn't fit the mold. It's stunning to watch.
And this is the part that connects to something bigger. The body mechanics question. Stephanie White has reportedly been overhauling Clark's mechanics, asking a 24-year-old who arrived in the league with zero significant injury history to move in ways her body isn't conditioned to move. Now she's dealing with back issues during preseason. The connection isn't speculation when you look at the timeline. Before White's system, Clark logged a full Iowa career and a full rookie season without major physical breakdowns. A handful of months into the new staff's program, the soreness reports start piling up. You don't need a medical degree to ask whether the cause and effect are pointing in the same direction.
When it comes to marketing their star, promoting their star, the Indiana Fever have a lot of recovering to do, and I gotta be honest, I don't think it's ever going to come back. The trust that fans once had in this organization is never going to come back. We're still gonna ride out for Cece, because she's that damn good, that damn talented, that damn entertaining. But as far as this organization, it's finished. Any chance of fans saying, oh, you know what, I actually am gonna follow the Fever once Caitlin Clark leaves, that ship's sailed. Whatever you got.
The trust the Fever once had with this fan base is gone, and I don't see a path back. Think about what they've done in the span of 1 calendar year. They suspended Clark and kept the ticket money from the canceled scrimmage. They missed an injury reporting deadline that even casual bettors know about. They alienated reporters who tried to do their jobs and called the fans who pay attention the dark side. And now a head coach is reportedly rewriting the shooting form of the most marketable player in the entire league. Every individual decision has a defense if you squint hard enough. The pattern, taken together, looks like an organization that has no idea what asset they're sitting on.
You guys are doing a great job diminishing this golden goose. You guys are doing a good job of dimming her star. Keep it up, the Indiana Fever. We're going to do our job here at the league offices to cover for you in any way, shape, and form that we can. We just need you guys to continue following the playbook, following the script, and minimizing Caitlin Clark every time you can. Yes, the strongly worded letter is the most vicious weapon known to man, and Fever have now received
a hard spank on the hand. That's the phrase that should be stenciled on the front of every WNBA league office memo this season. Because when the consequences for circumventing rules are this small, teams aren't deterred, they're encouraged. Engelbert's league has now sent 2 clear signals to every front office watching. First, the bigger the market and the bigger the star you're concealing, the lighter the punishment. Second, fans and bettors can absorb the damage because the league office isn't going to spend political capital protecting them.
Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, hype the video, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell while you're at it. The Indiana Fever picking up Miss Grace VanSlooten, 6'3". Damaris Dantas, are you on your way out? Can we see what Justine Passat has? Maybe we can let Damaris Dantas go, please. Hopefully Caitlin Clark plays tonight. The venue will be open.
So let's pull all of this together. Because the VanSlooten signing, the warning letter, the body mechanics question, and the dark side moment aren't separate stories. They're chapters of the same story. The VanSlooten signing is good. Genuinely good. 6'3" with finishing touch is exactly what this roster has been screaming for since training camp opened. After watching Damaris Dantas log free pass minutes for weeks, after watching Hines Allen get bullied in the paint by anyone with real length, the Fever finally added a body that can compete on the interior. Credit where credit is due. But the way they got here is the same way they get to every decision. Late, reactive, only after fans, analysts, and frankly anyone with eyes pointed out the problem for weeks. The front office calls people who notice these things complainers, and then quietly does exactly what those complainers suggested. That's not leadership, that's reverse engineering accountability after the fact. And here's where the P question becomes impossible to ignore. The Fever drafted Justine Peggs, a 6'4" stretch 4 with shooting range, and have given her almost no real opportunity to prove what she can do. Then they sign another rookie at the same height, with overlapping skills, and immediately position her ahead in the rotation. Either Peggs isn't what they thought she was when they drafted her, in which case that's an evaluation failure. Or she is what they thought, and they're choosing not to develop her, which is a development failure. There is no third option that flatters the front office. Damaris Dantas has used up every free pass this roster had to give. The conversation should not be about whether to move on. It should be about what comes next. If you're serious about giving Aaliyah Boston real backup, you go find a true center, somebody 6'5" or 6'6" with actual girth, and you put them in the rotation behind her. If you can't find that player in the free agent pool, you turn Pegues loose as a 4, slide Monique Billings into small ball 5 minutes, and you actually find out what your young players can become. Now layer the injury reporting situation on top of all of this. The Fever didn't just miss a deadline, they created a precedent. Every team in the league now knows that the strongest punishment for hiding a star's status is a warning letter. Engelbert's office had a chance to make an example out of the most visible franchise in the league. They chose not to. And the message that's sent to bettors, to credentialed media, to fans who plan vacations around Clark's road games, is that the W will protect organizational convenience before it protects the people who fund the league. This also reframes the body mechanics conversation. If you're an organization that has shown a willingness to hide injury information, why would anyone outside the building trust your characterization of Clark's physical condition going forward? Probable could mean anything. Game time decision could mean she was scratched 2 days ago, and the team didn't want to refund tickets. The Fever have spent their credibility, and now every health update reads like a contract that needs to be examined for hidden clauses. The dark side comment from Stephanie White, the suspension that doubled as a ticket money play, the late injury report, the slow reaction to obvious roster needs. These aren't isolated incidents. They form a pattern of an organization that treats its own fan base like an inconvenience, and its biggest star like a problem to be managed rather than a generational gift to be protected. Clark's existing fans will keep watching because she is that good. 3.27 million viewers tuned into her playoff game last fall, more than the NBA Finals averaged in several markets. That number is not a fluke. It is the floor of what this player can deliver when the league and her team get out of her way. The Fever's job, the only job that matters, is to not torch that gift. And so far they are doing everything except that. The signing of Grace VanSlooten is a small step in the right direction inside a much larger pattern of decisions moving the wrong way. So here is the question I want every Fever fan watching to answer in the comments. If your team called you a complainer for noticing these problems, and then quietly fixed them while keeping your suspension money, would you ever trust them again with the future of the franchise player? Pick a side. Tell me below. Hit subscribe if you want more of this analysis, and I will see you for the next one.